of Bellinghausen, along with ESPN's and SeriusXM's Kris Budden. Kris, we're here at the NFL Draft in Kansas City. We saw the first round go through. Biggest surprises for you?
One, that Will Levis was sitting there all day. As reports came out, I know there's some stuff that people believe that the toe injury that he had last year isn't completely healed. Those are the stories that are tough because you just keep seeing them sitting in a green room. Thought what the Houston Texans did in order to be able to get C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson back-to-back. And then, I thought we would go into the day saying 5 quarterbacks, with Hendon Hooker being the other one gone in the first round. So we'll see how early they go in round 2.
Still saw 3 quarterbacks in the top 5 get drafted. What does that say just about the value of the quarterback higher up in the draft boards?
I think it says a lot about the state of the quarterbacks in the NFL. There were a lot of teams that needed quarterbacks, and I think that that's also what happened to Will Levis, is you had an overvalue of this year's quarterback class, which is not as strong. You look at guys like Anthony Richardson, and we all said, why is he coming out this year? You look at next year's draft class, which will be stacked with quarterbacks, and you'll see the same thing. But there's so few elite quarterbacks in the NFL this year that there were so many teams that needed them that it was like, well, Will Levis has to be the guy, and Hendon Hooker has to be the guy, and on any other year they might not have been.
You've covered these guys all year long in college. Who stands out to you the most from their on-field and off-field persona?
Yeah, 2 guys. Bijan Robinson is probably one of the greatest humans in college football you will meet, just on and off the field. Never has a bad day, has the biggest smile. And then Brian Brzee for Clemson. I've covered his story for the last 3 years. His sister Ella passing away from brain cancer last year, literally in the middle of the season, having to go through that. You watched them yesterday at their house, and they all had Ella Strong shirts on. So to see him, like that entire journey, and then to be able to celebrate with his family yesterday, that one was really special to watch.
Well, now we're on to rounds 2 and 3. Any guys flying under the radar in your eyes?
Interesting. I like Jalen Hyatt out of Tennessee. I think the tight ends. I was surprised Michael Mayer didn't go yesterday. As like the Cowboys fan of me, I wanted them to pick a tight end. I think he'll go high. I think Joey Porter will go high. I'd like to see him go to the Steelers since his dad was there. So those are the ones that I think. I'm also a huge Hendon Hooker fan on and off the field, so I'd like to see him get picked up in the second round.
Last question, biggest winner of the draft so far from round 1?
Probably the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles have now 4 players from the best college defense to ever play college football. It is now either Philly Dogs or Athens North is what you want to call it, in order to get Jalen Carter. We were sitting here with Bears fans yesterday. They jumped 1 pick, did a trade to go get Jalen Carter, and then you go get Nolan Smith on a defense that's already stacked. So them and the Texans getting 2 and 3, probably the biggest winners.
Kris, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.